Putin News Now.New extremist charges have been filed against Alexei Navalny in Russia. Alexei Navalny is probably the person the Kremlin dislikes the most, as he is currently serving 2 convictions that have landed him in prison for at least 9 years and faces a new trial that could keep him behind 2 more decades. From the Kremlin's most formidable opponent a decade ago to Russia's most high-profile political prisoner today. A new trial could add another 2 decades to the minimum 9 he's already spent behind bars for his 2 prior convictions. On Monday, Navalny had his first day in court at Melikovo's Penal Colony No. 6, located some 230 kilometers, over 140 miles, east of Moscow. If he is found guilty, he faces an additional 30 years behind bars. In the new trial, he is being accused of rehabilitating Nazism, founding a nonprofit that violates the rights of its members, and calling for and funding extremism. He called the new charges against him absurd, and he disclosed that he could be tried for terrorism in a separate military trial that could result in a life sentence. In this article, we examine Navalny's background, political activism, and charges. The western suburbs of the Moscow area are where Alexei Anatolievich Navalny was born. He earned his law degree from Russia's Rudn University in 1997 and his economics degree while practicing law in 2001. According to his campaign website, in 2004 he organized a group to fight Moscow's excessive growth. In 2008, he rose to prominence after making allegations of corruption at state-run corporations like Gazprom and Rosneft in blogs and other online posts. In 2010, they established Rospil, a group of lawyers dedicated to combating corruption through research into the financial dealings of state-run organizations and businesses with the goal of identifying waste, fraud, and abuse. The main platform for his team to expose alleged graft among Russia's top political ranks was established in 2011 when he founded the Foundation for Fighting Corruption. After taking part in December 2011 protests that erupted over allegations of widespread election fraud in Russia's lower house of parliament, she was arrested and spent 15 days in jail for defying a government official. Protests erupt in Moscow and other cities after President Vladimir Putin is sworn back into office. Navalny claims that powerful people like former Deputy Prime Minister Igor Shuvalov and current Chechen strongman Ramzan Kadyrov are corrupt. In July 2012, while serving as an advisor to the governor of the Kirov region, the Russian investigative committee accused Navalny of embezzling funds from Kirovals, a state-owned timber company. Navalny denies the charges, claiming they are intended to harm him politically. The French cosmetics company Yves Rocher has a Russian subsidiary that Navalny is suspected of embezzling money from. This investigation was launched by the investigative committee in December 2012. Once more, Navalny asserts that the accusations are motivated by politics. In 2013, Navalny ran for mayor of Moscow, a move that was not only tolerated but actively encouraged by authorities in an effort to lend the appearance of democracy to a contest whose primary purpose was to raise the profile of the incumbent, Sergei Sobyanin. In the Kirovals case, Navalny was found guilty of embezzlement in July 2013 and sentenced to 5 years in prison. The prosecution asks that Navalny be released from jail while his appeal is processed, and he immediately resumes his campaign. In September 2013, after a successful electoral and fundraising campaign, Navalny finished second in the mayoral race, behind Sobyanin, with 27% of the vote. His campaign raised an unprecedented 97.3 million rubles, $2.9 million or 23.77 crore rupees, from individual supporters. In October of 2013, Navalny was given a suspended sentence for his involvement in the Kirovals case. In February 2014, Navalny was banned from using the internet and placed under house arrest for his role in the Yves Rocher case. His team, presumably, continues to update his blog on a regular basis with new information about the alleged corruption of various Russian officials. In the Yves Rocher case that went to trial in December 2014, both Navalny and his brother, Oleg, were found guilty of fraud. While Navalny's sentence is suspended for 3.5 years, his brother's is not. The two have filed complaints with the European Court of Human Rights. The first feature-length video produced by Navalny's Foundation for Fighting Corruption was uploaded to YouTube in December 2015, and it was titled Chaika, which means seagull in Russian and is also the surname of former Prosecutor General Yuri Chaika. The 44-minute video has amassed 26 million views on YouTube and accuses him of corruption and ties to a notorious criminal group. Chaika and other high-ranking Russian officials have refuted the allegations. The European Court of Human Rights ruled in favor of Navalny in February 2016, ordering Russia to pay his legal fees and damages for violating his right to a fair trial in the Kirovals case. The Russian Supreme Court reversed Navalny's sentence in November 2016, sending the case back to the lower court in the city of Kirov for further consideration. Navalny declares his candidacy for President of Russia in the 2018 election in December of that same year. The Kirov court retries Navalny in February 2017 and upholds the 5-year suspended sentence he received in 2013. Over 7 million people watched the documentary that Navalny uploaded to YouTube in March 2017 accusing former Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev of corruption. Tens of thousands of people attend anti-corruption protests across Russia, leading to widespread arrests. Navalny travels across the country to launch campaign offices, holds massive rallies, and is frequently imprisoned for illegal protests. The 27th of April 2017, his right eye was injured when an unknown assailant threw a bottle of green disinfectant in his direction. He believes the Kremlin was behind the attack. Present tense. In the Yves Rocher case, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Navalny's conviction for fraud was arbitrary and manifestly unreasonable. Present tense. December 2017. His conviction in the Kirovals case prevents him from running for president in Russia, a decision that the European Union has condemned as introducing serious doubt into the election.